I saw The Nun yesterday. um, I started to film a review with that camera. One, the camera died on me. Two, I was like, I couldn't speak words, apparently, because I can do it right now. Because every time I was saying something, I was like, like it was literally like that, me trying to do this review. But anyway, so, saw The Nun yesterday, and it's not bad. It's not bad. Comparatively to The Conjuring and Conjuring 2, it's not as good. But it's not like Annabelle, you know? So I would say like in the middle. So I would say like Conjuring 2, awesome, love those movies. The Nun, right here. And then you got like Annabelle Creation kind of here, and then Annabelle all the way at the end over there. Like, fuck off, you know? So it's not bad. And I'll go into spoilers a little later. So like I said, it's not bad. There were jump scares, but there was like that well-known jump scare in the fucking trailer, which I remember seeing that, and I think I said in a previous review when I was talking about the trailer, which that jump scare in the trailer, I remember seeing here on my computer. I have like little surround sound, good sound, all that shit. And I was like, alright, cool. Like, I want to see it anyway, just because it's interesting story, yada yada. Then when I saw the trailer, and when that jump scare happened, knowing it's gonna happen, but, because it's a movie theater, sounds obviously a lot better than what the fuck I have going on here, it still got me like, oh, okay. And the jump scares in this movie, one, they were worth it. Because it's James Wan, and James Wan has spoken very openly about how if he's gonna, you know, do a jump scare, is he gonna, like, if he is going to frighten the audience, he's going to frighten the audience. He doesn't want it, like, there's gonna be an actual payoff to it. It's not the bullshit, you know, jump scare, where it's suddenly, it's like, you know, like, the camera is like, you know, here, that you don't see what's behind, and they're just walking backwards, and then they turn around, and it's their friend, and they're like, oh, dude, you know, or like, you know, you drop something, you get up, and someone's like, dude, you dropped your phone, and you're like, because then you're just like, you're startled, but then you're pissed off, because you're like, god damn it, you know, that shit, no, but here, they do it well, where when they're gonna scare you, they're gonna scare you, and, I'm gonna sound so fucking snobbish, but like, a lot of the jump scares I knew were coming, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I watch enough, like, fucking movies, yeah, you're gonna be able to see it, but at the same time, like, that kind of, you know, snobbiness aside, there were parts where, like, they kind of do a little misdirection, so it's like, okay, you're like, alright, you're like, something's gonna come out, oh, okay, and I don't go, like that in the theater, like the young teenagers that are sitting close to the front, that kind of screamed, and they weren't annoying, like you usually go see a horror film, and then they're just like, wah, and you're like, fuck. They also had an adult with them, so it's probably why they weren't so, you know, but anyway, yeah, there were a few parts where I'm watching it, I'm sitting there like this, and I'm just like, oh, like, just like, I do my usual, oh, okay, or like, or sometimes it'd be something really gory, so I'd be like, ooh, you know, that, nothing so far has beat the Hereditary of, oh, shit, but Hereditary was on its own little plane of what the fuck, but yeah, I would say this would be, I would say, like, if you catch, like, a matinee, like, I saw this during $5 Tuesday, and I had a $5 reward, so I saw it for free, so, maybe that's why I'm being a little bit nicer on the movie, who knows, but I was fine with this movie, yeah, I would say, like, go for, like, a matinee, $5 Tuesday kind of thing, if not, definitely a rental, I would say definitely watch it, because it is enjoyable, and you kind of, the fuck? Okay. Like a sound happened. The Nun's here! Damn it! It's because the Nun knows I went to Catholic school at one point. The bitch is trying to find me. Anyway, so anyway, yeah, and you also get to see the connection, of course, of The Nun with the Conjuring series and all that stuff. You knew it's going to be a connection, because obviously The Nun was in the movies as a talking point, but anyway, so yeah, like I said, go see it, all that stuff. Also, before I go into spoilers, I find it hilarious that they had a poll an ad from YouTube because people are stupid. Because I remember I was playing for whatever video, and that came on my phone. I think I was like in the bathroom getting ready or something. And I remember I just looked down and I just saw like the volume thing going down, but it was like an Apple product thing, and I don't own any Apple products, so I immediately went, huh, what's this advertisement? And if you would have tapped on the screen, you would have seen like there was a thing that said like The Nun, you know? And I was like, oh, cool. And skip ad. That's what I was like, alright, cool, skip ad. So apparently it was going down and people were like, wait, why is my volume going down? Volume up. Oh god! You know? And then later on, once I pulled the ad, I saw a new ad that was like, our ad was too scary, blah, 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 blah. If you want to watch it, 3, 2, 1. And I was like, cool, skip ad. Anyway, so I find that hilarious. But anyway, so, 1, 2, 3, spoilers. So, sorry, woo. Can't be talking about horror films during the daytime when your house makes house noises. I'm like, no one's in this house. What's that sound? God, could you imagine if I recorded that? Although on a serious note, I heard like a streamer, someone like shot at their house, like during a stream, and I'm like, that's fucked up. Anyway, what I was gonna say before weird noises happened, was that, who's my fuck it? This isn't a spoiler, I was gonna say. Ugh, crazy noises startled me. That I really like the costumes and the sets for the movie. Because, you know, of course you got because the movie takes place in 1952. You got, of course, like the kind of, it's like the 50s clothing, but it's like super conservative. I was like, English. Super conservative because we're looking at like a nun and a priest and all that stuff. And then also the wardrobe they did for like the nun, you know, outfit and the priest and all that stuff. And even like the countryside people, you know, where it's like, yeah, it's still that very 50s but very country-esque kind of look to it. Yeah, like the costumes were amazing. The sets were great because I know they actually went to Romania and filmed it. I follow, what's his name? Gage, who was in, season 1 of Face Off, and he was kind of like look at this thing, we're filming here, and he's like posting about that stuff, so it's actual location, all that stuff, so it's great. Anyway, actually, and just fucking spoilers, so it got kind of gory at times, but not like, it wasn't overtly gory, it wasn't like torture porn gory, you know, like, when in the beginning of the movie, when the nun goes like kill herself, you just see she just goes over all that stuff. It was like the next day when the French guy discovers her, yeah, like her face is all bitten off by crows and all that shit, and she's hung there. But it wasn't like one of those, I don't know why I was gonna say Michael Bay, that she's gonna explode, what the fuck's wrong with me? But like when she jumped off to kill herself, it wasn't like you then saw in what's that movie? Was it Red Dragon? Hannibal? One of those where like the guy gets thrown off the edge and all of a sudden it's like all the stuff spills out and it's like, you know, like it didn't go that way, you know, like this movie reveals things when it's needed, not just for the audience reaction of things, you know, which I'm glad. I also like that this movie, there were times where like I would see things in the movie and I go, really? But the movie addresses it, which I'm glad, because yes, this is like a ghost story and it's all supernatural made up stuff, but you know, there's a certain amount of suspension of disbelief before you're like, alright, stop. It's like, oh my god, my old ass review, my Transformers 2 review that's no longer on the interwebs, where I said, suspension of disbelief of, I can believe that robots from space happen, but I can't believe that Megan Fox does not have an inch of dirt on her after that. It was like so, I don't know, that was like a 40-minute video of me going off about that, but anyway, so, but yeah, there were parts where like, okay, so, the priest has to go get, what's her name, Thaisa, the little sister of, what's her face, who's like the woman in The Conjuring, which is great. Which it's not connected. Because obviously they look alike, duh, because they're sisters. So I thought that like that would be the connection because it's like somehow that's like part of the lineage. It's not, but anyway. So the priest has to get her. They go there, they meet the French guy, and then they like there's blood, like, the blood stains on the step, but it's not really a stain. It's like it's still wet, and the French guy is like so like the priest even like touches it, and I was like, what? Like, and before they even do that, they show it, and I'm like, why is it so wet? By the time she killed herself, the French guy discovers her because her face is all bitten off, and she's, you can tell she's been dead for a bit of time. And then, all the travel, and again, it's the 50s and all that shit, ain't no private jet shit happening, like overnight stuff. And I'm like, why is it so wet? Why isn't it just like a dark stain on the stones? But like, the priest touches it, and he knows it's wet, and even like the young nun was even like, how is that even possible? It's been weeks. And I'm like, all right. There are a couple other parts where they'll say things like that, and I'm like, okay, I'm just saying, I'm with you, movie. But I'm just also kind of like, the fuck. So, and also, like, okay, it was predictable, but the movie didn't do one of those, like, you didn't see it coming. Like, the movie knows that the audience isn't that fucking stupid. Where, like, it's kind of pretty obvious that no one is in that abbey anymore. Like, that last, I was about to say nurse, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I could speak better today. The nun who killed herself was the last one in that abbey. And everyone else you see in the abbey are ghosts of, of course, are ghosts of nuns who have been there, And it was kind of obvious because, like, when they enter through, like, the crypt and all that stuff, and suddenly, like, one of the old nuns, like, Sister Anne or some shit like that, they're, like, totally fine because she's, like, covered, like, all in black, but I think that's actually, you're supposed to be because, like, you're in mourning and all that stuff, and they're like, cool, and they're just speaking to her, and she just shows up out of nowhere, and then towards the end of the movie, it's like, oh wait, like fucking Ju-on, the Grudge shit going on, ever since that movie, anytime just like loud cracking like that, I'm just like, unless it's like chiropractor, it's like, oh, crack your bones. Anyway, so yeah, it's like kind of obvious that they're speaking to ghosts the whole time, and when it's revealed, it's, again, you knew it was coming, but when it's revealed, it doesn't do that thing that some movies do where it was like, see, you didn't know it was a ghost the whole time. But it was more of like, the audience knew the whole time, but the characters weren't too sure, but they believed it, and then when it was revealed, it wasn't one of those like, what do you mean? Oh my god, it was just kind of like, yeah, let me open this door, yeah, we were praying, what? And it was like, the fuck? But they were here. And then, she uncovers the sheet and notice, like, that the dead nun under the sheet has been kind of, like, rotting for some time. And then she goes, like, instead of this, like, how could this be? Reaction that usually happens in movies when they reveal stuff like that and the audience is like, Jesus Christ. Instead of that, she just uncovers, she goes, oh my god. They're like, she kind of has, like, oh shit, this has been happening for, like, this has been. Fuck, which, again, was really quick, and it wasn't just one of those, like, lingered on kind of thing, where it's like, one person's like, oh my god, I can't believe it's been like this, the other person's like, oh my god, how long has this been, I don't know, it's not like this thing where they're, like, freaking out, it's just like, they see it, they're like, okay, this isn't what we've been experiencing the whole time, okay, and shit's going real, so let's go. It's not one of those where it's like the building's collapsing, there we gotta go, and it's like, no, it's none of that, which I'm glad. So, yeah, speaking words and phrases, I love how to close the gate or portal to hell, you need the blood of Jesus Christ, which they were able to do so ages ago, and then the gate... the gate ended up opening again because the bombs of the war shook the earth, so it kind of, like, cracked it, so then blah, blah, blah. And then they had, like, that special key, which I love that, like, the hole in the wall is the shape of a cross, of course, and then, like, the metal. I always love, like, in movies that have secret doors, I always wonder, like, how does that work? And mind you, I'm with it, because so many movies does this. It's always like stones and stuff, and you put this like crazy intricate metal key, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, and all of a sudden you just hear, because the stones are like they're on like one of those like IKEA like pull drawer systems. I'm always like, what is causing that? Because it always automatically opens. It's never just like, ka-chunk. All right, bro, get one side, get the other side. Open it like this. It's a cabinet. It's a trunk of a car, It's always like, ka-chunk, and a big boulder goes, blah, 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 blah. I just always wonder how that happens. It's just fucking hilarious. Anyway, so I open up, and I love how it's also like, it is a, clear Fabergé egg, piece of glass, Fabergé egg stuff, and then the seams are decorated with gold crosses, and then inside is a cross vial with Jesus Christ's blood. And it just, when they first show it a little bit more in like the middle of the movie, when they're first talking about the evils and stuff, and what that abbey used to be, it was an evil place, but then the church took over it, so now we're fine, it's Holy Land again, blah blah blah. But now they're like, actually it's probably not that holy anymore. But when I first showed it, I just thought like that made me think of the holy hand grenade in Monty Python. So the holy hand grenade with Jesus Christ's blood, it will close the portal of hell. So whatchamacallit? Oh yeah, I was gonna mention like the little subtleties in the movie. So in the beginning, when why do I keep saying nurse? What's wrong with me? When that nun goes to kill herself, they show like a cross in the background just slowly start like inverting. Could you imagine if I randomly had a cross back there and they started doing that? Right? My Rammstein poster just starts inverted. That'd be weird. That shit's taped on there pretty tight. But anyway, cross in the background starts slowly inverting, and while it slowly inverts, that's when like the evil comes through, yada yada, and she's like, Lord forgive me, kills herself, And I like when the young nun is in the abbey, and when shit's, when she's literally talking to no one, but when she's in there, and when, kind of like evil shit's happening, when you notice in the background, like any of the crosses are on the wall, like the small ones, not like the big fuck-off ones near, like, the gate of hell, those are just there, or not like the big one with Jesus on it, but like the little ones they have on the wall. If you notice, like, when stuff starts happening, they start turning, to be like, hey, some evil shit's happening. I like that little subtlety of it. It's pretty cool. And it's also because, like, I love how, obviously every nun is in black, but she's in white, so of course it's like, oh, yeah, you can find her really easily. What the fuck else was I gonna say? But yeah, the whole thing where they go, they go to the gate of hell, so they go through that whole thing, and all I'm thinking is like, I'm like, that French guy is dead. I'm like, he's dead because, one, he deviated from the path because he was following the girl the whole time, but then he heard a noise over there, and he was just like, oh, I'll follow that noise because that's safe, because you enter through a door that in Latin says God ends here, and you're like, yeah, sure. Well, mind you, you were carrying a wooden cross with you because you got startled in the woods, so you're like, I'm gonna go to the bar with this cross with me, but I'm gonna enter this abbey, I'm fine. It's like, alright, bro. And it's funny because we're in spoiler territory, because it's like, he does die, and I was confused at the end where it was like, he ends up like, saving the girl from the water, and I was like, what the fuck, and of course it shows in the end that, he was possessed by the demon, all that stuff, connection to, conjuring thing, because he grabs the woman, and she sees the vision, that's why they see the nun, blah, 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 the end. But yeah, I just remember the other part where they were, like, pointing out things, I was like, So there's the part where, like, the priest is in, like, the grounds and all that stuff, and then he just, via spirits and shit, gets thrown into a grave, and all that stuff, and dirt covers him, and it looks like, like, not like fresh disturbed ground, like, like what my backyard looks like, but he's like pulling on the bell, like, I'm being buried alive. And when the young nun goes and like saves him and like digs, him out of the grave, she was even like, how did that happen? The ground doesn't look like it's ever been disturbed. I forgot what word she used, but it was pretty much, that's what she meant. And I felt that way too. I was like, again, I know it's a supernatural thing, but I'm still like, alright, shit, like I said, I'm fine with the movie. I don't hate it. It wasn't, I think I went into this movie with probably the same expectation I went in when I went to go see Hereditary. I shouldn't be comparing the two because it's completely different. Completely different. One deals with nuns and possessions. The other one deals with a cult and stuff, But anyway, yeah, so I went with the same expectation, especially nowadays. A lot of horror films, I kind of go in with like, alright, let's see how this is going to be. And most of the time, I don't even go see them in theaters. I'm like, they're not really worthy. They're just like, here we go. But since, like I said, I like the Conjuring, like, series, and I'm like, hey, I am interested in seeing what they're going to try to explain with the nun, because I feel like a story with the nun is definitely more interesting and all that stuff than the Annabelle doll. Just because, like, a possessed doll thing, because of, like, Child's Play, all that stuff. It's kind of like, meh. It's not really a story that I'm interested in, but definitely something, especially, like, religious related, and I'm like, I'm with that, Oh, man. Yeah, let me go into the trailers. Let's see. It's funny because I was gonna delete this because I was like, alright. So first thing, okay. So obviously I went to go see The Nun. It's a horror film. The trailers, they had no idea who the fuck they were advertising to. So first is that they just show like a random scene from A Star Is Born. And it wasn't even one of those like sneak peek kind of things, because usually they'll let you know. They're like, hey guys, thanks for coming to theater. The next, you'll get to see a sneak peek, da-da-da. It's like, fuck, what movie did we go see? It was a Marvel film. We went to go see a Marvel film, and I think was it Guardians? Might have been Guardians, too. And then they were like, let's show you, like 5-10 minutes of Dunkirk or something. But they tell you, it's like Christopher Nolan. It's like, oh, I'm Christopher Nolan. I'm sitting there like, Anyway, they don't say that. It just goes into like a scene. Anyway, it's Gaga, it's Bradley Cooper. They're in like a convenience store parking lot or some shit like that. And they're just chit-chatting and then, all that stuff. But there's like no music, no score. It's just like the two of them. Not even like background noise. I think that was another thing, that there was no ambient noise. It was just, that was kind of a little bothersome, because it's nighttime in a convenience store parking lot. There's not even that sound of the street lights or whatever, or cricket something. No, just dead. It's just the talking. And then Gaga starts singing, because that's what she does. And while she does the singing part, they show quick clips of like the two of them having live performances on like these huge fucking like festival kind of like stages. And then it just like, while they're doing all that, it's like Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga, A Star Is Born. I'm like, okay, cool. So then next is trailer for The Nutcracker. Again, they have no idea what the fuck they're advertising to. And again, like, the fuck was that? Is that a truck? I was like, or a duck. Jesus Christ. So the Nutcracker, I am interested in seeing it, because it's like whimsical and the costumes look great and all that stuff and the sets. I'm looking here at my paper. Nutcracker comes out the same week as Bohemian Rhapsody and the Suspiria remake, and I'm like, I don't know, Nutcracker, you might have to take a back seeing that. Hopefully I have a job by then. Who knows? Who fucking knows if I'll have a job by then? But anyway, after that, they finally figured it out. It's Hellfest. The trailer for Hellfest, the whole, like, traveling, scary thing. Oh, actually, a killer is there. Security, cops, whatever, aren't going to do anything because that's the whole point of the thing. Blah, blah, blah. Next is the Venom trailer. And I think the Venom is coming out the same weekend as A Star Is Born, so people's got choices. So I want to see Venom because it's Tom Hardy, it's Riz Ahmed, but I don't know, like the little like Venom's, I guess, quips or something. I don't know, because obviously it's generated a lot of like negative feedback because of the whole like you'd be legless and you'd be like armless and like a turd in the wind, and you're like, what, you know? Or it's like, I eat your pancreas and blah 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 and all that stuff, and it's like, I don't know if they'll shorten that in the actual movie because it's got garnered such like negative responses, or I don't know. Like I said, I still want to see it because I like Tom Hardy and Riz Ahmed's in it. I don't know, man. I'm not betting a lot on it. Next is the J.J. Abrams movie, Overlord. It's got... Oh my god, I forgot his name for a second. Fitz from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He does a really good American accent. Whatchamacallit, it's the one that's like World War II, and then they're just like, we're gotta fight the enemy, it's World War II. Oh wait, German super soldier stuff. I don't know. Anyway, after that, they still don't know what the fuck to advertise. They show the trailer for The Hate U Give, which I've mentioned this before. I'll see this movie at home, so I'm not being emotional in the theater like I was at the end of BlacKkKlansman, because I wasn't expecting that, and I was just like, I'm gonna be honest, at the end of BlacKkKlansman, I'm just like, I'm watching it, I'm like that, and then all of a sudden I just start, like, tears are streaming down my face, and I was like, wow, okay, I didn't think that was gonna happen. I have emotions outside of anger. Yeah, so, and I think they're just showing trailers for, like, whatever movie right now, because, like, they just, yeah. Because obviously they don't have a trailer for, was it Infinity War, wow. Avengers 4 or Star Wars or anything like that, so they're like, I don't know what to show, what movies are coming out the next 3 weeks. You know? After that, it's a trailer for Halloween. Yes. When is that coming out? That is coming out... October 19th. Okay. Yeah. Can't wait to see that one, because that means it negates the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. It also negates a lot of the other movies. I'm just saying. Which I'm actually going to rewatch the Rob Zombie ones just because, to be like, what were you trying to tell us? Okay. After that, okay, after the Halloween trailer, I thought that's it. We're going to start the movie. No. Then they do another trailer for A Star Is Born. Why? And again, it's not the regular trailer. It's just like the one we saw before. It's not exact. Jesus Christ, I'd be so mad. But it's the same kind of thing where, like, we show you a scene. And again, it's like dead noise in the background. It's just the two of them talking, yada yada. And it does the same thing. And I'm like, why did you show this twice? You know? One, don't ever show a trailer twice, because then people are really not going to give a fuck. Two, you're showing this for a horror, like, for someone, people are coming in for a horror film, and it's not like they did this when I went to go see fucking Star Is Born, when I went to go see Crazy Rich Asians, because they did show the trailer, but it's the regular trailer. I don't understand why, I don't get it. And it's making me go, I don't want to fucking see this movie now, you know? I was kind of like, interested, but now I'm like, I don't give a fuck, because why did you do that, you know? Okay, so then after that, I thought, okay, fine, the movie's gonna start. Then we get, like, a Red Band, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna get a Red Band trailer. I'm like, okay, maybe it's an actual horror thing that I don't know, because it's like, this Red Band trailer for a movie that's coming out tomorrow, you know, because that's happened before. And then it plays, and the only reason why the trailer is a Red Band trailer is because, like, some stupid dumb cunt's voiceover is like, blah, 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 motherfucker. And I'm like, Red Band trailers nowadays is just like, oh, because someone said the word shit, like a cuss word, or, well, I forgot what trailer it was, and it was just like, they were like, you know, the whole, like, big pimpin' kind of music video looking thing, and you just see some girl's ass, and I'm like, thanks. you know, and I thought a Red Band trailer was gonna be like some shit. But it's this movie called Assassination Nation. That's such a fucking stupid fucking name. And like the whole time, like, you know, a movie isn't that good when they have to put up early reviews of the movie in front of the thing, you know? So it's, and they also have to do they have to do in the red, white, and blue colors, because, you know, America. And so, of course, it's like, Heathers meets the Purge. And I'm like, that doesn't, I'm like, that's not something I want to see. Plus, all, like, the four girls have, like, their pink lady jackets on and all that stuff. I like how one of them is black, just to be like, hey, okay, it's not an all-white cast. We got one black girl who's very, very, very light-skinned. You're like, okay. You know? And it's apparently, the whole story is that, like, some dude is, okay, so a lot of people's, like, texts and emails get leaked. Alright. Part of me is like, okay, maybe text might be incriminating for me, depending. But I'm like, what in my emails would be, like, I don't know. I don't get those kind of emails, so I'm like, you know? Maybe people are like, yeah, you get a lot of, like, emails for things and you just don't read them. Like, it's, I don't know. And I'm, like, thinking, like, anyway, not that I want my emails to be leaked, Jesus Christ. But, anyway. But, like, they're teenagers, so you know. And it's, like, a dude who's, like, oh, so-and-so did, like, one of the girls in the group, and everyone's like, how dare you? And, of course, no one's gonna, like, hear them out, because they're like, well, we didn't do it. This dude just... There's just weird noises are happening outside. Jesus. I got startled, sorry. I thought that was my oven alarm going off, and I was like, how again? No one's at home. Anyway, so... yeah, it's like this dude who's just blaming it on them and no one wants to hear them out. And so then you see these girls, like, you know, unravel a blanket, and because, again, we're in America, they have all these fucking assault rifles to, like, seek revenge on people or, like, to protect themselves from whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it looks like a stupid concept. I don't care for it. And I'm not gonna watch it, you know? It's one of those things that maybe a year or two from now I'll watch on Netflix and go, yeah, I'm glad I never watched that in theaters. But anyway, so, I don't know how long I've been talking. Yeah, so that was The Nun. I think I was more, like, passionate talking about how much I hated most of the trailers. But anyway, that was The Nun.